So, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. And I am possibly expecting Stephanie Krol to join me. And in lieu of that not happening, I'm here anyways. Sometimes life happens, and Stephanie was scheduled to be here. And if she's not, it's because something very big has happened. Anyways, we're going to talk today about client attraction and how that works into your marketing. So, do you know who your ideal client is? Are you able to say immediately who it is that you attract, that you want to work with? And I want to talk to you about this today because I know it's an area that so many entrepreneurs struggle with. If when I ask people who their ideal client is and they go into that look, I know that they can't say it. So I help entrepreneurs attract more ideal clients by understanding their body language messaging. And that is key because are you attracting or are you repelling? Here's the thing, most people don't even know or are totally unaware that they are repelling their ideal client. And what does that look like? Well, here's the thing of it is that when you're with someone and you're explaining what it is that you do, I often say people go into their filing cabinets. They access that great big filing cabinet in their mind, and that in that very moment creates a disconnect. So if we haven't already met, I'm Laurel Lyon. I am creator of Client Attraction Factor. I'm a business coach with a therapy background. Entrepreneurs hire me to help them discover where their ideal clients are hiding and the money that comes with them. I have always believed that sales is service at the highest level. But have you ever had that happen when people or someone says, "What are you selling now?" I have. I understand exactly what that feels like because in that moment, you are not in front of your ideal client. So, discovering who my ideal client is has saved relationships, has built relationships, and most of all, it has preserved my own personal energy. Because when you're passionate about what it is that you do for a business, you want to share that with others. Often what it is that you do for a business comes from a place of maybe your own personal transformation. Maybe it's something that's healed your body or given you a totally new perspective. Maybe something that's helped you lose the baby fat so you can fit into the skinny dress again. Whatever it is that you feel so passionate about that you want to share it. Often it's not recognized that not everybody with a body is your clients. Now, it's true that probably everybody would benefit from what it is that you are marketing, but it doesn't mean that your customers, everybody's ready to be your customer right now. So, why not target those guaranteed, very low percentage of potential customers that would increase your conversions by being able to speak directly to the problem that you solve for them? When you do that, the words flow more freely. You feel more confident, and they more readily, with credit card in hand, say, "Pick me, pick me." What it you have exactly what it is that I want, and I actually haven't been able to put it into words as good as you have. That's what happens when you're standing in front of your ideal audience or your ideal clients. So I have actually a free download that I'm going to give to you that it will help you to discover who your ideal client is. And honestly, one of the reasons why so many people struggle with this is because it's maybe the unsexiest part of business building. I always see it when it's like, oh, that again. And I get it. I was there for so long. My teachers in the therapy that I wanted to share with the world would always say, anybody with a body. No, don't leave anyone out. Well, in fact, that's the opposite and counterintuitive to what it is that you do need to do. Because when you discover who that ideal person is, even though it's a very specific group, it doesn't mean that the others that could benefit from it aren't listening too. But if you aren't speaking to that one specific person, then you're so general that nobody will buy in, or you're scattered, and a scattered mind, a confused mind won't make a decision and certainly won't purchase. So the more clear you get, the more succinct you are, the more effective you'll be, and the more ideal clients you'll have coming to you. So um, I work on a three-part system because I discovered from all the years of working with therapists that many of them struggled in their business because they were on a healing path and they really couldn't focus on their business. That was part of it. The other thing is what's going on in your business is going on in your personal life or your inner world. So if you're out there giving presentations and wanting people to buy in to what it is that you're presenting, if you're telling yourself, I suck, who would buy from me? Well, even though you're not saying it, that message really is going out there through that nonverbal communication. So, the first part of how I work with people is the body. I work body, mind, and then business. And the reason is because what's going on with the nonverbal messaging is probably the biggest barrier that you have. If you are not in alignment in here, it shows up here and out there. So being confident has more to do with how you feel about yourself. So that is a big part of straightening away what is going on. And look who's joining me. I told you something big must have been going on for Stephanie to not be with me right away. Anyway, I want to introduce you to, and I'll just wrap up with the client attraction factor that I was talking about, the body, the mind, and then the business. Okay, so I want to welcome a girlfriend today that has been, we've gotten to know each other through networking groups. I love being an online entrepreneur because there's no borders. And today we're dealing with a lot of situations around borders. And when we go online, we don't have to worry about that. So my friend Stephanie is a doctor, an author, a certified raw dog food nutritional specialist. She's certified as a publishing consultant. She's a certified health, wellness, and functional medicine practitioner. She has so many skills. She is so multidimensional in her marketing capacity that I couldn't keep her a secret, and I really needed to share her with you today. So, Stephanie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on Aspiring to Inspiring. How are you today?
Hey, it's a great day to be alive, right? Any day that we're up and we wake up, that's exciting. And
there we go.
When you like what you're doing, it definitely is a big help.
So. Right. So, Stephanie, we're going to I'm going to turn the floor over to you so that you can share with people why you are so passionate about what it is that you're doing. And we're going to focus on the marketing today because you have so many different areas that you are working in marketing. You're involved with a real estate company. You're involved with the legal end of publishing and law and what that looks like for authors. There's we could do a whole series, and maybe we should, around all the different areas of marketing that are so important. And I just want to say, before I turn the floor over to you, I just want to welcome everyone that's coming in live. Hello, Martin, and everybody else who's joining us. We're live streaming to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And so I can't see everyone that's on, but I would love it if you would type in the chat where it is you're coming in from. And I'm welcoming Stephanie Krol, who's here with us. Stephanie, remind me again where it is. Are you in Illinois or Michigan? Illinois. I got it. I'm in too many time zones. It's noon here. I've been in 4 different time zones already. So thanks for keeping me on page. So Stephanie, how is it that you've come, you know what, I don't know, where do we start, Stephanie, with what it is that you're passionate about? But if you give us just a light, the audience a light background on how you came to be where you are today, that would be great.
How I came to be where I am today. Wow,
I know. We'll go the short version today because, yeah.
We keep it to publishing. If we keep it to publishing, that's super easy. How I got to where I am today is I had a terrible publishing experience, right? I mean, just horrendous. It was like someone gave the guy $1 million and said, delay this book at every turn. And so, I mean, that's what it felt like every day. It was supposed to take 3 months. It ended up taking 6 months. And when it came out, people were ordering my book on Amazon and wherever else, and they were getting someone else's book, And so at that time, I was just like, okay, we've got to break up. This isn't working. People have to get my book. I mean, that's like the bare minimum that you want, when people are ordering your book. So, when all that happened, I just said, wow, I had to find another place. I was under a hybrid publisher at the time. I felt it would give me, more authority for one of my first official books. I mean, I have other things published in academia, but it wasn't like my first book. And so I figured, oh, this is going to give me better, credibility and all of that. Now that I know that I'm in the industry, just doesn't even matter at all. And I was thinking, oh, I want to be a New York Times bestseller, and this is going to help me do that too. So I really should be under a hybrid, or totally not true for any of that. So I found this company called My Word Publishing and paid again. So when you pay for everything and you buy a package and it doesn't turn out the way you want, then you pay again and maybe again. So you really have to, educate yourself as much as possible. I thought I did. I picked a tried and true company, been around for 15 years. I didn't see any. There's literally lists where you can go and make sure that the company you're picking isn't on there. So I did that. So I mean, how much can you do? You were just talking about the virtual boundaries of the world now, not being bound to lists, even though we are kind of bound at certain periods. And when you have that ability, it's great, for business and all of that. But am I really going to run over to Canada, if you scam me on a marketing deal, depending on how much it is, trying to get my money back,
You're right. I want, I've been online for many years. And when this last 18 months transpired, at the beginning of it, I was like, wow, I participated in online events and I took training to do online events.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing how people were so easily investing to be online, taking some of these events that offered, say, this is the package and this is the price, but there's actually all of this underlying foundational stuff that isn't in the package that you have to know too. So there's, when you say you got to pay, there's all of these other parts that you have to pay. I actually was shocked that so many people, at a time when I thought people would be conserving, they were spending more and more. And high ticket became the norm. And it's not unusual. And as a coach myself, when I would be talking to prospective new clients,
Yeah.
everybody had, if you just had 3 coaches, that was pretty normal.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy trying to, especially in the marketing world, to shift through the minutia of it all. I mean, with our real estate school that we've got, I mean, that requires a lot of different types of marketing. And over the years, we have found our most successful marketing is referrals, of people that have come to our school and tell other people. And that's what the whole relationship marketing that you've mentioned that we're both on, and it's just that's been amazing, to be honest.
Well, right. Let's just talk about that for just a moment. So referrals, personal referrals. I was on a call this morning that came from a personal referral, which I thought this doesn't happen very often, but I was so intrigued with how it played out. And then from that, I actually got another call out of it. And so it's coming towards my business. And so that certainly, one-on-one referral is still alive. And the relationship marketing part of it. I was the anti-business card business person for over a decade because I was I feel people get confused about what networking is. To me, networking is what social media is for business. It is all building relationships, not here's my card and then it goes in the pocket. And you are involved with, marketing for a real estate company. You're marketing your books, publishing, and the legal end, and your business. So
Yeah, what you said is correct. And it's also evolving, I would say, too. Uh, when it comes to school business, there's BNI networks and there's the Chamber of Commerce's, and that is different, because I used to be involved in a lot of that, and it's very different skill set. And you always hear business coaches tell you, if you're going to move to the next level, you need to learn different skills, change your mindset, be open to learning to do things different ways. And it's really, I think, fallen on top of me this year the most, more than it ever really has. And the relationship marketing is a whole animal on its own. I feel like that's even just another separate kind of marketing, and it's hard to learn, and there is a specific way to do it, and no one really tells you how to do it. You kind of learn it as you go, and you're right. Building relationships is really the key to growing, especially in today's world.
yeah, I have to say, one of the areas, like you say about there's a way to do it. And not everybody talks about it. Or what I feel I've discovered part of it is that it's something that if you're a seasoned business person, you still will struggle, could possibly still struggle with this, because it's
Sure.
not about you when you're out there networking in that social platform. It's about what you can do for others. So it's more about listening, asking questions, listening, and hearing, in a way, an interpretive style of listening, so that it's not here's my card, here's what I do. And I was in a call, a networking group recently. There were 6 of us, and everybody had their 2 minutes, and each one got on and for 2 minutes just talked nonstop about what they were selling. That's not networking.
No.
And that, if anything, that would be the one piece of advice that I would give to people, is to listen, hear how you can serve them, and then listen more.
Yeah, and to bring value as much as you can as well. I feel like if I can drop some value on whatever their struggles are or whatever they're working on in their business too, I feel like that cements the relationships a little bit more too.
Perfectly. So what are some of the ways that people could give value?
Well, it depends, and that's the thing about relationship networking, right? It's not necessarily that the person's in the same field, or I mean, I could be talking, and I'll say this because I'm in functional medicine as well. So I'm not into chemical products and things like that. So, I could be talking to a makeup branding person who's selling makeup, and it's definitely not, because I've had that call actually. But you know what? I took the call, I took the networking opportunity because I'm building a relationship, and I am, like you said, I'm in the business of books. And, sometimes I'm creating books out of thin air with people that have 2 decades of experience, and they're wondering, that's a way that I bring value, especially on the book side of things. It doesn't matter what business you're in. When someone's got 2 decades of experience and blah, 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 fill in the blank, that may be something that they want to share, and really they should, when they've, learned all of that. That's one kind of field for me. Other one, entrepreneurs and coaches and people who are looking to build their brand and their business and have that authority in their space. A book is definitely a great way to do that. So, we talk about all that. So that's a small business owner. We can talk about building their brand through that. If it's someone who has a couple decades of experience, we can talk about why a book would be good at growing their business. So I tend to try to bring value in the area that I'm in. But, if I happen to know something, I was talking to somebody about automation, business automation. And the older you get, when you hit that 40 mark, you're looking for, or maybe it's me, passive income and leverage, maybe not working as hard and leveraging everything that you've put out there. So you're not redoing content constantly. So, it just depends on what the conversation's about. And I will admit, I probably didn't have a lot to add for the whole chemical makeup conversation, because that's kind of the antithesis of, I always tell people what you put in and on your body goes right to your bloodstream. So if it's not edible, don't put it on. I couldn't have much to give that woman, but, if she had brought something up or something she was interested in, or, being an educator, like you said, you've kind of got to have a vast knowledge of a lot of things. People expect you to talk a lot.
Well, I think that part of it too is that the different types of customers that you have, not everybody's ready to buy from you. There's some that will never buy from you. But looking at them as different types of customers, that this one is maybe a customer in the building, and in the meantime they'll refer. So always, what's really sad is people get on those networking calls, and once they see that they're not going to make the immediate sale, it's kind of like next, and you feel that, and that's such a big disservice to yourself, first of all, and certainly to that other person, because I've had many calls like that turn out to that don't seem to have an initial sale in the beginning, that they come around to be long-term referral or eventually a client. So everybody's a customer, right?
Yeah, they are. And if it's not now, it could be later. And like you said, a referral partner is great too, because especially if you cut them a feedback or something, they're making money by helping you build your business. So you're right. Every conversation, I just say yes to everything. I don't know if this is a good philosophy, but I say yes to everything, people want me to be on, or this or that, or do this or that. And, it works out eventually. Like you said, a relationship is a relationship, and building an opportunity. And you never know, because it might not be now. And, people don't stay doing what they're doing forever all the time. And so you develop that, the relationship can be forever, right? And so if you develop that opportunity with them, that relationship, and they move into something that is a partner business to you, or they do end up maybe there's someone building a marketing business for entrepreneurs. Well, that's a great audience for me. So you just never know, like you said. So you've got to be open to it, and open to getting to know people, and not selling yourself. Really?
Yeah, I totally agree. I believe that, and this goes to the volunteerism that I learned so many years ago. It's like, if you're not getting enough, you're not giving enough. Your business is the same. I truly believe that.
That's a good point, and a good parallel. That makes a lot. That's a good way to explain it. Because if you don't know this type of marketing or networking, it does take a little bit. You've got to develop that skill set, if it's, especially if you're one of those drivers, you know, to sale. Got to learn it.
Yeah. So how many books have you written, Stephanie?
Well, written and gotten published because it was such a nightmare. One
Okay.
of my own,
Uh-huh.
other people's, but I've got like 10. You know, it's kind of like, it's like the plumber, right? Whose house needs a
Oh
lot
yeah.
needs a lot of plumbing to be done because they're out doing it for other people. I've got
In
like,
our house.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm married to the carpenter. So yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean. I have at least 10 books right now. They're all pieces and parts, and the majority probably have a chapter or two to finish or to put the polish on and they're finished. But
so what blocks people in, what do you see in working with people? What's the biggest block that they have to getting it written? We understand the publishing end of it is a whole other animal, but on a personal note, what blocks people once they say, yeah, I'm going to do it?
You know, life, I would imagine, gets in the way. I think what blocks people is what blocks people from anything or any task that they've got to get done. It's the ability to put it into your already busy life, you know, and make space for it. In fact, I've considered creating a writing group for myself, for other people, just so I can commit weekly to writing my own and finishing my own books.
Well, yeah, that's how I became a yoga teacher. I knew I needed it for me, but if I do it for my students, I know I'll be showing up.
Right. So I've kind of, but it is making space for it. If you're using Outlook and you're on a lot of this, I would encourage people to use that and then connect everything to that, you know, connect your Zoom, connect your calendar, and then you can just mark off space for it. I found it's actually easier if you just mark off space for it. I started marking off space because I was spending so much time on these calls. You know, I mean, I was Zooming about 7 to 9 hours a day. And so I put in periods for emails here, periods for emails at the end of the day. You know, and I should just follow my own advice and put book writing, jam it in there once a week.
Yeah. Or get up earlier is another really great strategy. Get up earlier and designate, even if it's half an hour, at least half an hour a day gives you 20 to 30 hours extra a week of that written, you know, maybe even concentrated, right?
It's a good strategy. It depends on what kind of a person you are. If you've got to have a lot of energy to get that done, maybe cutting sleep for that is not a good idea. But maybe
we'll go to bed earlier. That's what I always say.
That's a very good point. See, that requires discipline. I don't know if the majority of the world is so disciplined. I mean, I agree with you. But, you know, I tend to write at night when it's quiet. So I just
hear that from a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the kids are in bed type thing.
Yep. When everyone's quieted down, when the dog's been fed and he's quiet, and he's content and everything else is done, then you feel like you have a clear head.
Right.
For me, at least. And that's when I feel like I can do other things. You know, get my duties done for the day, and then I can go do my stuff. So
I just want to say hi to everyone who's hopping on live. I'm here today with Stephanie Krol. She's multi-talented, diverse in her marketing background. She's in the legal end of publishing. She's in law. She's a doctor. She's a certified functional health practitioner. There's marketing strategy, marketing in all of these different areas that Stephanie's in. She really is an expert at helping people get their books published and retaining all of your rights, making you aware of what it is that you are entitled to, or that what the potential for what can be taken away from you if you're not aware of that. So thanks to everyone who's coming on live. Type in your questions in the chat box, and we're live streaming to several different platforms that we will come back and answer all of your questions. So Stephanie, let's talk about marketing those books. What so you talked about, and so many people are so aware, if they're writing books, that there are different ways to do it. What's your favorite way to market your book?
We have a few strategies. So at the end of my title is consultant, and you kind of just alluded to that. So I do have a lot of consultations with people to meet their needs. One person who's an entrepreneur may have different needs than somebody who's creating a self-help book. So, first of all, it depends on the author's needs. But if you're asking for a general tried and true type of marketing that I do, I would say it's our Power Boost. We have a bestseller campaign. It's a Power Boost situation. We go in, especially through KDP, we create the metadata, the keywords, which a lot of times publishers don't do. Even in self-publishing, they don't do. And so you're not found, properly in the right category or at all if you're not doing that type of optimizing is what it's called. And so I make sure that books are optimized, categorized. I have special software that we use for that. And we do Power Boost campaigns, especially for ebooks. And, authors see really great results. I'm not going to qualify it across the board, but a lot of authors, see number one in their certain categories. And it's all, it does depend on the genre of the book. And, we do everything from fiction to nonfiction to memoirs and even textbooks. So it just really depends on what we do. But I would say that's our one-stop shop to the type of marketing. A lot of times people are charged thousands of dollars for marketing. And it's just not necessary, number one. But number two, social media is different. We have got people that can also do that. They can do your Instagram and your Pinterest and, set up these things for you as well. But that's not really, to me, I guess it depends on what era you're in. Because I do know the younger folks tend to pick books through Pinterest and things like that. And they click on them and they pick their books that way. So it kind of depends what category of age you're in as well. So, we've got the social media, we've got all that, but we also do the Power Boost campaigns. And then if you're one of our authors or if you come onto our website, we literally do marketing tips every Tuesday for free. So there's over 400 marketing tips for free, and they're not things that don't work or old antiquated things. We always update. We stick with the latest technology for our books that we're using, the design software, as well as the marketing that we're doing as well. So, they're great tips. And you could just, when that Tip Tuesday comes out, you could market your book that same time every day, get your tip, and have 400 tips, which is over a year's worth of. And then the person who owns our company too has written a marketing book. And so we suggest our authors, and we do marketing consultations, and it's part of our package as well.
So people can access that for no fee, no charge. And Stephanie's going to put that post in the live feed afterwards. And actually, Stephanie, if you're able to put that in the private chat right now, I can post it to some of them, but I don't know if it'll go up to Facebook if you have it. If not, that's okay. We'll do it afterwards. So anyways, so that's let's talk about your book, because I was really that was one of the things that interested me too about you, was because I have four-legged fur babies that are a big part of our life. And what led you to write your book?
Well, when my dog was 11, we ended up in a situation where he was throwing up like uncontrollably, couldn't even keep water down. And we took him in, and we're not wanting to take him in, but it was 2 a.m. And we took him in. We were hoping it would just kind of pass and work its way out. But I was worried there was an obstruction. Although he's not the type of dog to get one, I was like, well, we've got to go do a scan and find out. And so we went in, and They ran a whole bunch of tests. We were there, gosh, it must have been 14 hours through the night and morning. And then we came home for an hour to take a nap and then went back because the scans are only done during a certain period of day. And so they were telling us that, by the end of it, and it took a couple of sessions, and we got a second opinion, went to a specialty clinic, went to a top university for second opinions. And they told us that he had 3 to 4 months to live with or without surgery. But if we didn't do surgery, he would definitely die, and I would definitely be killing him. Those are almost their identical words, I would say. Yeah. So from that, he's a very special dog, and I've had other dogs, but he was just super special. And I knew how well I had taken care of him. I stopped vaccinating him at 3. We only did titers. I bought the most expensive organic pet food on the market. I didn't put chemicals on him. So I just said, this just doesn't make sense to me how we could end up in this situation. And they did not find cancer or anything like that. But they said in their experience, due to the liver nodules and the spleen that they want to remove and this and that, they're sure that he must have it. And so I started doing consultations. I gave myself a week. I put the surgery on the books because they told me if I didn't, I'd be killing him. And I didn't want to do that. But I also knew.
What's his name?
We call him Winston in the book. That's his formal name. And so, they told us that it was very stressful, and I had to figure something out really fast. And so, I went 24 hours in this gray right in here, came from that period of time. I didn't have gray hair prior to that experience, but, I was up 24 hours researching, setting up consultations, finding the most experienced international and national people that I could have conversations with, from homeopathy to Chinese medicine to holistic, and chose diet. And I had, you could only imagine, I think most dog owners, they go for those health appointments and care checks, and they come back with their heartworm medications. And then they're like, oh, you need a probiotic. He's having digestive problems. Then you get a probiotic, and then you get digestive. So I had like a box like this big of items. And it was really sad when I really realized that was not right. And that's what caused a lot of his sickness. I threw that all in a box, all in the garbage. I came home that day. I had 6 bags of dog food because I like to rotate. They say, so your animals aren't allergic, you should really rotate. That's not true either. So I threw that all in the garbage and started actually making him food. And that wasn't quite correct. It wasn't, quite species appropriate correct, but it was leaps and bounds better than anything that was commercialized because of what's allowed in it.
Well, I agree with you. I'm known for cooking for my puppies, and my daughters I've heard them tell new boyfriends, if you want to get in good with mom, cook them eggs. Right? There's a lot of stuff that goes into those dog food packages. I too am a label reader, and I take it very seriously. Our daughter had food allergies, and that taught me a lot. And there's people would be surprised what they would find in dog food.
Yeah, very surprised. And the line is basically, in the United States. I know you are in Canada, so I don't know who qualifies food in Canada, but in the U.S. It's the FDA. And so, everything that's not qualified for people. And by the way, that's not that it's healthy for you, good for you, but just that it doesn't kill you. That's the line, right? So, everything.
Well, that's debatable.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's a whole nother conversation too, but everything below the line is what's allowed in dog food.
So can you give an idea of what viewers should look for that they don't want on that ingredient list? Just one thing. I've got my favorite ones, but I want to hear yours.
My answer is everything. I mean, there is no commercialized pet food diet on the market. And I know that European countries, I will tell you, are better. They're better than anything you can find in the United States, that I know. because they're so much more health and wellness based as opposed to drugs and, surgeries and all that, which is what the US, we call our healthcare system healthcare. It's really sick care. So that's just a whole nother conversation. So we're very backwards, allowing GMOs and all of that in the United States. I mean, that's the reason we have autoimmune diseases is the number one killer in the United States. So,
right. And, for our pets, the thing is that most people are not going to cook for them. Most people they don't cook for themselves. So, and actually there's many people that will prepare food for their pets over preparing food for themselves. So not to throw a general blanket out there, but there's lots of challenges with that. So what's the best scenario that people can do to provide for good food for their pets?
if they can't create a diet at home, which is very little time, people do think it's a lot of time, a lot of extra money. I hear those things a lot, but it's actually not. You literally could do it once a month and pop it in the freezer. And it's even quicker than pulling kibble out so if you would be willing to do it once a week, 4 times a month, you could have your entire week done. And so a lot of people that I work with do prep their food. Some do it for a month. Some do it once a week. So it's not like it will take extra time. So I can't recommend any commercialized pet food on the market due to the standards of what's allowed in it. I wouldn't recommend any of it. There are some fresh foods that are coming out now that they call human grade.
Yeah, I wasn't actually necessarily looking for brands or whatever. It's just things that people could do better by their pets. I'll tell you, our dogs, they're Shih Tzus, love their fruits and vegetables. And I actually had a vet say, don't give them too much apple, they'll get fat. And I thought, I don't know if that's true or not. I could see maybe the peanut butter on the apple.
There is a caloric thing for humans and animals. If you're burying them in food constantly, yes, they're going to gain weight. But if you're feeding them a proper amount, whether it's people or pets, we gain weight when our body's already sick. So healthy bodies don't hold weight, sick bodies do.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, there's
Thank
already
you.
something going on, I would say.
Yeah, that was I just thought what a statement to say, because it just seemed to me like it's not really educated.
No, but here's the thing. You bring up a really good point. I don't knock veterinarians. They do their job. And their job is not health and wellness.
Exactly.
Or to reverse disease. It is to give a drug, block a symptom, create more toxicity, which is what it does, and do surgeries. But where I do hold them responsible is that they don't refer. When someone says this isn't working, I don't want my pet to be sick anymore, I don't want to continue to give drugs, they don't refer. So if it's someone like that, yeah, I do hold them responsible for that. And anybody should refer if it's not in their space, or should be willing to get proper education if they're going to make it their space. Because a lot of traditional veterinarians do transition into holistic, because in the day and age that we live in now, you know what you're doing. You know that providing drugs to block symptoms is not health and wellness.
Well, I just really appreciate what you're saying. Our journey with our pets has, they've been so healthy, and I've loved the vets that we go to. But you're right. When I question if it's outside of their realm, like eating too much apple, it's not anything I give them every day. I'm thinking about the fiber content. Yes, there's sugar. There's natural sugar in there. Right? And that everybody should be of, if this doesn't work, then refer. You're right.
Yeah. And, eating an apple, whether it's for a person or a pet, I mean, you want to eat actual food. We live in a society where fast food is what people think is actually food.
Right.
But it's just chemical. It's just gobs of chemicals to make it taste like good food. So You know,
I agree with you. Our daughter had food allergies, and I educated myself through then. One one time being in the school in the classroom because the teacher said she was too unruly. So when it came time, and it was an apple situation, it came time for snack. She wasn't allowed to eat her apple because of the sugar, but the kids eating the fruit roll-ups and the green jello was okay. I just thought, yeah, this is, yeah, the food allergies. It's not so much food allergies, it's what the preservatives in pet food and people foods. And you're right. We have to educate ourselves. It's our responsibility to our bodies and to our pets.
it is, because if not you, who? You know, your pet waits for you and they're home for you 24/7, and they can't do it themselves. And so if you don't get some basis for your education, you're doing so much harm that you're not aware of. And when you find out, sometimes it's too late. If I didn't make the right choice that I did, he wouldn't be around. He's going on 15 now.
And he was how old when he got a 3-month diagnosis?
11.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. My Shih Tzus too are 14. Yeah. So fabulous. So Stephanie, let's come back to the marketing of the books, and marketing in general. What's your message to people? What should they know?
You want me to cover the whole industry?
Well, yeah. Top of the list.
Top of the list.
I think they should just call you.
Yeah, you know what? If I can't, I always tell people a conversation, if anything, it may be entertaining. At the worst, if I can't help you, I will likely have somebody to refer you to someone who can.
Yeah.
So it will be useful in some way or not. Yeah.
So Stephanie today has a gift, a download for everyone, and she's going to put it in the feed after the interview, so it'll be there for you to download. And with all of her links, just go and check her out, because she provides really great value. So you're gonna get lots from clicking on her links and checking her out. So Stephanie, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today, to sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with everyone. And I hope you come back again soon. Thanks to everyone who's joined us. Type your questions in if you're watching on the replay. And for those who are here live still, if you have any questions about any of the areas of publishing, marketing, pet diet, pet health, for sure, type in your questions. Stephanie will answer them. So thank you so much, Stephanie.
It's my pleasure. I'm so glad you asked me to come, and you're a wonderful person yourself. So you give so much value to your clients. I hope they're checking you out as well, because you're going to come away with something value, right? No matter what. You've been in a lot of business and you've been an entrepreneur. So there's tons of value there.
Thank you so much. I just love you. I didn't pay her to say that. I'll just say that.
Nope, she didn't. She didn't. I tell you, she did.
Anyways, thank you so much. You have yourself an amazing day.